Have you ever wondered if there was a way to make them feel the pulse of your presence, even when you're not around? A way to make them realize your significance in their life, as if each moment without your interaction is a little duller, a bit less vibrant, like something essential is missing, perhaps a spark that only you can ignite. Maybe you've tried to bridge that gap, tried to reignite that spark, reaching out with messages that you thought would surely catch their attention. But every time you reach out, every effort you make, it feels like you're just whispering into the void, unheard, unnoticed. What if I told you that today could be the last day you ever feel overlooked or ignored? Imagine crafting messages so compelling, so irresistible that ignoring them just isn't an option. Messages that not only capture attention, but hold it, compelling them to see you in a new light, to feel your absence as a palpable void they're eager to fill. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding the deep-seated needs and desires that drive us all, about speaking directly to the heart of human psychology. And hey, if you're thinking, I can't possibly reach them, don't lose heart. I'm here to show you how you can harness the power of psychology-backed communication to transform your interactions. This isn't just another communication strategy. It's a new way to think about connecting with others, a way that ensures you are never again relegated to the background. And before we dive deep, here's a fun task for you. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "You will crave my message." Yeah, it might sound a bit funny, and maybe you're even laughing right now, but trust me, by the end of this lesson, we're going to make it real. Because after you understand these techniques, they'll find themselves eagerly waiting for every word you send, wondering how they ever missed your presence before. So go ahead, type it in, and let's set the tone for what's to come. Are you ready to dive deep into the art of irresistible messaging? To learn the secrets that will make you unforgettable? Let's peel back the layers of human connection and tap into the psychology that drives us all. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand these principles, you'll be applying them like a pro. And remember, this journey starts with a single step. Believe in your voice. Believe in your worth. So let's dive deeper. Number 1, the curiosity dose. All right, folks, let me ask you this. What if there was a way to make someone think about you non-stop? Imagine if, with just a few carefully crafted words, you could plant a thought in their mind that they just can't shake. What if you could create a spark that keeps flickering even when you're nowhere near, so that every time they check their phone, your message is the one that lingers, making them wonder, what did they mean by that? Curiosity is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. It's that magnetic pull that makes us replay certain moments, analyze words, and overthink the smallest gestures. Now, what if you could harness that? What if, instead of waiting for their reply, you're the one who's got them waiting, guessing, unable to ignore the pull of your messages? One perfect curiosity dose is to send something that leaves them hanging, like, "I just saw something that made me think of you, but it's too hard to explain." This message is packed with intrigue. It doesn't reveal what you saw or why it reminded you of them. It's open-ended, it's mysterious, and it leaves a question mark in their mind. If they're curious, they'll probably respond with, "What was it?" or "Why did you think of me?" You can keep them guessing by replying with something like, "It's hard to describe. Maybe one day I'll tell you." Now you're creating a sense of anticipation, a feeling that they're on the edge of knowing something special. This approach works even if you're not currently close with them. If it's someone who's distant or who's pulled away, this message subtly reaches out. It hints that they're still on your mind without being direct or too forward. They may not reply right away, but trust me, this kind of message leaves a lingering effect. They'll likely find themselves wondering about it even hours later, replaying the message and imagining what you might have seen that sparked that connection. Now, here's another dose of curiosity you can try. "I just realized something about you today." This one is a bit different but equally powerful because it suggests you've had some sort of insight or understanding about them that they're not aware of. They'll want to know what you realized, so they'll probably respond with, "What did you realize?" or "Tell me." Here, you have the chance to reveal something thoughtful and observant, something that shows you've been paying attention to them. It could be as simple as "I just realized how good you are at finding the bright side of things," or "I realized how much I respect the way you handle tough situations." These little revelations show that you notice things others may not, and it's a quality everyone craves, to feel seen and understood. You're not just saying, "Hey, I thought of you." You're saying, "I see you in a way that most people don't." This works particularly well if you're trying to attract someone who's been distant, because it brings a feeling of warmth and appreciation without needing to dive into anything heavy. Another curiosity dose that works wonders is hinting at a shared experience. Send something like, "Today reminded me of that hilarious moment we had." But don't finish the thought. Let that be all you say. This triggers nostalgia, which makes them think back to shared experiences while also creating a playful and light-hearted energy between you. They'll likely respond with, "Which moment?" or "What happened?" Now you've not only sparked their curiosity, but made them think about good times with you. This can be especially powerful if you're reconnecting with an ex or someone who's grown distant, because it brings them back to the comfort and closeness of shared memories. And if it's someone new, this can make them feel an instant bond, as if you're already building a history together. These curiosity doses aren't about playing games, they're about creating a genuine connection by sparking intrigue. Even if it's been a while since you spoke, these messages can create an opening, making them wonder about the person who notices them in such a unique way. And here's another one that adds a little twist. "I just learned something that reminded me of you." This works like magic because it combines curiosity with a sense of insight. They'll want to know what you learned, what you thought about them. When they ask, you can say something like, "It's a bit hard to explain, maybe I'll tell you when I see you." Now you've opened a door not only to a conversation, but to a possible meeting. This one is perfect for someone you're trying to get closer to, as it leaves them curious about what's coming next. So here's a fun task for you. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "Can't stop wondering," if you're ready to add these curiosity doses to your messaging game. This will let me know you're enjoying the lesson and that you're following along with me. These curiosity doses may seem simple, but believe me, when used right, they can leave a lasting impact. And stay with me because we're just getting warmed up here. This is only one strategy, and there's so much more to uncover about the art of connection. And hey, if you haven't already, hit that like button. It'll help this video reach others who might need a little help reigniting their own connections. Now, let's dive even deeper into the next level of connection and see how powerful these two tools can be. Number 2, the Only You effect. So folks, after you've learned how to use curiosity to spark their attention, it's time to add another powerful layer to your messaging, the Only You effect. Because curiosity alone can pique their interest, but making them feel uniquely special is what really makes you unforgettable. This technique taps into something we all crave deeply, the feeling of being seen and understood in a way that feels rare, even irreplaceable. The Only You effect is about crafting messages that imply that there's something specific about them, something you recognize and appreciate, that no one else quite brings out in you. One way to do this is by sending a message that subtly implies that they're the only person who would get something about you. This can be as simple as a message like, "I was thinking about something the other day that only you might understand." This isn't just an open-ended statement, it's a little invitation, letting them know that there's something unique about how you view them. It tells them that there's a quality, a perspective, or an insight that you see in them, and you're inviting them to lean in a bit closer to understand what it is. They'll likely reply with, "What is it?" or "What were you thinking about?" opening up a space for you to reveal something thoughtful about them, or to keep them guessing a bit more. If they respond with interest, you could follow up by saying something like, "It's a bit hard to explain over text, but it's something that sets you apart." Now you're building anticipation, and they're left intrigued, wondering what quality you see in them that you find so distinct. You're making it clear that this is a compliment, but by not explaining it right away, you're letting them wonder just a bit more. which keeps them engaged. Another way to create the only you effect is by referencing something specific to them in a way that highlights their unique qualities. Try something like, "There's something about the way you think that's so refreshing. It's rare, actually." This implies that you see them as someone who thinks differently from others, who stands out in a meaningful way. You're not just complimenting them, you're pointing out a distinct quality that sets them apart. They're bound to wonder, what is it about my perspective that they find so unique? Or you could send a message like, "I can only imagine what you'd think about this," or "I don't know anyone else who would have your take on this." This lets them know that their opinion matters to you in a special way, that they bring something to the table that no one else can. It's subtle, but it reinforces that they occupy a unique place in your thoughts, and that's something everyone wants to feel. For instance, imagine you're talking about a book, a movie, or even a topic you came across. You could say, "I saw something recently, and it instantly made me think about how you'd react. I bet no one else would see it quite like you." This not only builds a sense of connection, but it also subtly encourages them to share their perspective, which draws them further into the conversation. Another example could be, "I can't help but think you'd have a completely different perspective on this, something I wouldn't get from anyone else." This message conveys that their insight is not only valued, but is also unique to them. You're letting them know that their way of seeing things is different, special, even rare, and if they reply with curiosity, you can keep the mystery alive with a playful hint, something like, "It's tough to explain, but I've never really seen that quality in anyone else." This keeps them wondering, what exactly is it that they see in me, and makes them eager to continue the conversation to uncover more of what you're hinting at. For those of you who may feel nervous about sending these messages, remember that this isn't about flattery or exaggeration. The only you effect is about making someone feel genuinely unique without going overboard. You're giving them a glimpse into how you see them, but with just enough mystery to keep them interested. Here's a fun way to get started. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "Only you could get this," if you're ready to create messages that make your presence truly unforgettable. This will let me know that you're following along and enjoying this lesson. And remember, the only you effect is powerful because it taps into something everyone craves, to feel seen in a way that's uniquely personal. By focusing on qualities and insights that only they bring to the table, you're not just sending another message, you're creating a moment of connection, something they'll carry with them even when the conversation ends. And if this content is resonating with you, please support us by hitting the like button under this video. When you do, YouTube will share it with others who might be struggling in the dark, people who need this message of strength and hope. So go ahead, smash that like button if you haven't already, and let's help more people find the light they've been searching for. And we're not done yet. There's more coming that will elevate your communication to an entirely new level. Number 3, the unanswered question. Have you ever thought about what it would take to make someone replay your words over and over in their mind, like a puzzle they just can't solve? Well, folks, after creating that curiosity and tapping into the only you effect, it's time to take things up a notch with the unanswered question. This is the kind of message that doesn't just catch their attention, it captures it, keeps it hanging in the air, lingering like a whisper they can't shake off. Because here's the secret, when you leave a question unanswered, you're inviting them into a mystery they can't resist. The power of an unanswered question is that it's both intriguing and a little bit daring. It's like leaving the door slightly ajar, tempting them to wonder what's behind it. You're giving them a reason to engage, creating a pull that makes them itch to respond. The key is to ask something playful, bold, and a bit unexpected, questions that make them want to know more about what's on your mind and perhaps reveal a bit of themselves in the process. Imagine sending a message like, "I just realized there's a question I've always wanted to ask you, but I'm not sure how you'd respond." This isn't just a question, it's a hint of a mystery. It suggests that there's something important or intriguing you're holding back, and they're the only person you'd want to share it with. It leaves them wondering, what could they want to ask? Why hesitate? They'll likely respond with something like, "What's the question?" or "Now you have to tell me." By not revealing it immediately, you build suspense and set up a back and forth where they're the one asking for more. You could respond with something mysterious like, "I'm not sure you're ready for it yet, but maybe someday." Now, you've sparked their curiosity, creating a mini mystery that makes them feel special and yet leaves them wanting more. Or how about a playful twist with, "What do you think I'd say if I told you I knew a secret about you?" This question is loaded with intrigue, making them wonder what you might know and how. They'll likely respond with something like, "What secret?" or "How do you know something about me?" You could keep them guessing by replying, "Oh, it's something I've picked up on, but maybe I'll keep it to myself for now." By hinting that you've observed something unique about them, you're positioning yourself as someone who sees them in a way others don't. This builds a connection based on curiosity and mystery and leaves them wanting to know what exactly it is that you know. If you want to add a bit more suspense, try something like, "Do you think you know what's really going through my mind right now?" This question is both playful and challenging. It implies there's something deeper or more interesting than what's on the surface, and it invites them to guess or lean in to understand you better. Their response will likely be a mix of curiosity and intrigue, and if they ask, "What's on your mind?" you can reply with something teasing like, "Oh, I think you'd be surprised." This keeps them wondering about what you might be thinking, drawing them further into the conversation, wanting to solve the mystery of what's on your mind. For an added touch of intrigue, you could try a question like, "If I had to describe you in 3 words, what do you think they'd be?" This one gives them an opportunity to think about how you see them, and it invites a little self-reflection. If they respond with a guess, it opens up a conversation where you can either confirm or playfully deny their answer, saying something like, "Close, but not quite." You're more complex than just 3 words. This not only keeps them guessing, but it also subtly communicates that you see them as layered, interesting, and someone who deserves a deeper look. These kinds of unanswered questions work because they're open-ended. They invite curiosity without giving away too much, and they make the other person want to know you better, bit by bit. They're left wondering, thinking, and guessing about your thoughts, your insights, and your perspective. By creating these small gaps in conversation, you give them a reason to fill in the blanks with their own curiosity, which keeps the connection alive and engaging. And remember, folks, these aren't just questions, they're experiences. They create moments that linger, that make them replay the conversation and wonder about you long after you've stopped texting. Each unanswered question becomes a little thread, something they feel compelled to pull on, hoping to uncover a bit more. Here's a fun task for you. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "Just loved these unanswered questions," if you're ready to add these mysterious questions to your messaging game. It'll let me know you're following along and enjoying this lesson. And hey, stay with me, because right now, you might be feeling motivated and inspired, but believe me, the real gem of this video hasn't been revealed yet. Be patient and stick with me. I promise you'll regret it if you miss what's coming up. Number 4, the anticipation teaser. Imagine this, you're about to unwrap a gift, and just before you can, someone tells you, "Wait, let's save this for later." Frustrating? Yes. Intriguing? Absolutely. This is the magic of the anticipation teaser. It's a powerful tool to create excitement and curiosity, leaving them wanting more. When you send messages that hint at something but hold back the full reveal, you're building tension, the kind that keeps them looking forward to your next message. The trick with an anticipation teaser is to create a moment that feels almost within reach, but not quite. Think about it like this, it's leaving them on the edge, letting them know that something interesting or exciting is waiting, but they'll have to stick around to find out what it is. Try something like, "You'll never guess what I'm planning, but I can't reveal it just yet." With this, you're sparking curiosity by suggesting there's a plan or surprise that involves them, but you're holding back the details. They might ask, "What is it?" or "Can you give me a hint?" This is where you keep it playful, responding with something like, "Not yet, but it's worth the wait, I promise." Now, they're left thinking about it, wondering what you have up your sleeve, and their anticipation grows each time they think about it. Another approach could be to drop a small hint that implies something exciting is on the way. Say something like, "Remind me to tell you about the idea I had. It might just be the most interesting thing we've done yet." This works wonders because you're hinting at an experience or plan that could be shared between you, but without giving specifics. They might respond with, "What's the idea?" or "Tell me now," but you keep them hanging just a bit longer, saying, "I'll tell you when the time is right. Trust me, you'll love it." By building anticipation this way, you're making them look forward to the reveal, creating a moment they won't easily forget. Or if you want to make it even more engaging, try something like, "I came across something today that made me think of an idea for us, but I want to keep it as a surprise." This approach is ideal for those who are building new connections or trying to create a spark, as it suggests that you're already envisioning shared experiences. They're bound to wonder, "What's the idea? Why is it a surprise?" By leaving these questions unanswered, you're letting their imagination run wild, thinking about the possibilities. Here's one that adds a bit of mystery. "I've got a challenge in mind for us, but I'll only tell you if you're ready." This message does two things. It piques their curiosity and it invites them to play along, setting up a playful vibe. If they respond with, "I'm ready, what is it?" you could tease them a bit, replying with, "I'll reveal it soon, only if you think you're up for it." Now, they're left wondering about what the challenge could be, and it builds anticipation for something fun and engaging. The beauty of the anticipation teaser is that it turns all ordinary conversation into something they look forward to. It's like reading a novel with just enough foreshadowing to keep turning the pages. Imagine you're on a cliffhanger at the end of a great chapter, and instead of flipping to the next page, you have to wait. That's the feeling you're aiming to create, a sense of suspense that leaves them eager for more. If you want to add a touch of flotation, try, "There's something I've been meaning to say to you, but I'm saving it for just the right moment." This message is suggestive without being too direct, giving them a hint that something exciting is coming their way. They're likely to reply with, "What is it?" or "When's the right moment?" You can respond with patience, "It'll be worth it." Now, they're left with a spark of excitement, looking forward to that reveal. Here's another teaser with a more subtle, thoughtful twist. "Today made me realize something about us, but it's hard to put into words. Maybe I'll find the right time." This line carries a sense of depth, hinting at an insight or feeling you've had that they might be intrigued to know. They'll wonder what the realization could be and likely ask, "What did you realize?" This is where you keep them guessing with something like, "It's one of those things that's better felt than explained. Maybe you'll understand one day." By leaving it at that, you've created a moment that sticks in their mind, something they'll reflect on, hoping for the day they'll hear the full explanation. Here's a task for you. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I'm all about the anticipation," if you're ready to create suspense and excitement with your messages. It'll let me know you're following along and enjoying this lesson. Number 5, the open loop message. Imagine receiving a message that hints at something intriguing but doesn't quite give away the whole story. This is the magic of the open loop message. It's about creating a small mystery or story fragment that leaves the other person curious, eager to know more. An open loop keeps them mentally engaged, making them want to continue the conversation to find out the missing piece. This approach subtly invites them to stay connected, creating a lingering sense of curiosity. Here's one way to create an open loop. Send a message like, "I have a feeling you're going to surprise me with something soon." This makes them wonder, "What could I do that would surprise them?" They might respond, "What do you mean?" or "Why do you think that?" You could keep them guessing with just, "A feeling I have, I'll let you figure it out." Now they're thinking about how they might surprise you and feel intrigued by the idea that you see something unique in them. Another fresh approach is to hint at something you overheard or found out about them. Try saying, "It's funny, but I overheard something interesting about you. You can't say I was expecting that." This sparks instant curiosity, as they'll want to know what you heard. When they ask, you can playfully respond with, "I'm still trying to confirm if it's true, maybe I'll tell you soon." This keeps them invested, wondering what it could be, and they'll likely come back to find out more. Or take an imaginative approach by suggesting a skill or quality you see in them. You could say, "I feel like you have a hidden talent that most people wouldn't guess." This invites them to think about what you might be referring to or even guess what you're hinting at. When they ask, you can respond with, "I'll figure it out eventually, but I'm betting it's something unique." Now they're left curious about what quality you've noticed, creating an air of mystery around their personality. For a playful touch, you could send an imaginary scenario. Try something like, "If we were both stranded on an island, I bet you'd come up with the wildest survival ideas." This approach brings humor and a light-hearted challenge, as they'll wonder, "What makes you think that?" When they ask why, you could respond with, "Just a hunch, but we'll have to see someday." This creates a fun dynamic, giving them a playful scenario to imagine. Another unique way to keep an open loop is by suggesting a specific location that makes you think of them. For example, "There's this one place I can totally picture you in. It's so your style, but I'll keep you guessing for now." They'll naturally want to know where and why you see them there. When they ask, you could say, "It has a bit of mystery and character, maybe I'll show you someday." This creates a connection between them and a place in your mind, making them feel unique. The open loop message is all about planting a seed of curiosity without giving everything away. It's a way to create meaningful conversations that leave them wanting more, building anticipation and intrigue that keep your interactions fresh and memorable. This was it, folks. If these messages resonated with you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more insights, and share this video with anyone who wants to level up their connection game. Each of these techniques, from sparking curiosity to creating open loops, gives you a powerful, psychology-backed way to be unforgettable. Remember, these messages aren't just about getting attention, they're about building genuine intrigue and connection that stand out. So start experimenting, watch how people respond, and see the difference it makes. With these tools, you'll never be ignored again. Each message will leave a lasting impression.